G'day, I'm Dr. Friday, and this is the Dr. Friday Show, and we've been doing 13 weeks of getting you off the sofa and back to work. But for some of you, you're doing everything right, and maybe now's the time to think about expansion, making a big move. Maybe you've worked in corporate America and it's time for you to change professions. This is the kind of show you need, because this whole panel of experts is here to help you make those right decisions. I've got the right experts sitting right here for you. And so we're going to take some of the questions that you guys have sent us and we're going to answer them. And one of them is, how easy is it to get money to expand my business? And Lane, I'm going to let you start that one out. And what kind of documents would they need? Maybe it's a good thing too.
Well, definitely. Expanding an existing business is a much simpler loan process because we have a business that's been around for a while, that we have financial statements to go off of. So those are some of the documents we would need. We would need prior year's tax returns. If it's an SBA loan, a loan application would be needed. And the SBA has some great programs that you can utilize to help you expand your business. They have capped trade lines of credit, and they have some export programs. If you make something here locally and you want to start distributing it to other countries, the export program is a great tool to utilize.
And we should probably bring up right now that Lane is an expert at SBAs, and that's one of the reasons she's on this panel, because most people think, I think, that SBA is somewhat limiting. You know, it's really either for the really big companies, the small guy can't get it, or it's a lot harder than you think. You have to give your firstborn, is what I've had people walk in my office. I can get one as long as I give up my firstborn. Is it that difficult? Is the process any different than getting any other loans?
Nowadays, with financial reporting being the way that it is with the new bank regulations, an SBA loan process really mimics kind of the commercial loan process in general. So the same things that are needed to get a standard commercial loan are the same things needed for the SBA. Now, there are a few other documentations around citizenship and that sort of thing that do go along with an SBA loan, because the SBA will only lend to U.S. citizens. But otherwise, it's pretty much a simple process.
All right, and so my other experts are sitting here nice and quiet while Lane and I are handling this. But when we're talking about expansions, all these guys can help you in many different ways. Let's start with Dan. Dan, if somebody has already purchased one territory, let's say they start in Brentwood with a chiropractic or any kind of business, it doesn't make a difference, and they brought, would that person wants to expand, would it be difficult for them to come back to you and say, hey, I'm ready, and maybe look at other territories or whatever the term would be, or how would this kind of work in your business?
A lot of times that's the strategy that they want to employ, is to grow. So they'll buy additional units, territories. Maybe they'll even go outside of the metropolitan area.
Sure.
And the franchisor prefers that. They would rather have a owner that they know is successful and can build out that business. So very much a multi-unit strategy.
And in that kind of case, do they get better deals? I mean, is there any kind of, not necessarily,
discounts
and things, because they already know this
discounts
is a proven
on franchise
concept.
fees for buying additional units, by all means.
So expansion is a good thing, because that way you can do it. And then, of course, if you've got a business now, Brent, I'm going to throw this at you, because I know you don't just go in, because you always talk about helping a client that starts now and then 5 years from now being really ready to sell a business. When you go into a business, do you look at the financials and try to figure out, I mean, everyone thinks of a business broker, and I may be throwing words in people's mouths, but basically, he's going to come in and tell us what it's worth today's market, and that's it. Right. You know, I mean, do you help them kind of see ways of getting more value to build a better business, to sell a better business?
Well, the way I approach this from the point of view of what is your vision for what you're going to do after you've sold your business. If it's just trying to maximize the amount of money that you're going to get on your business, there's no reason to sell your business ever, because as long as you're growing it, it'll be worth more. So you really need to have a view of where you're going.
Not if I'm dead. I can't take it with me.
Well, there's
I'm just kind of bringing it up, Brent.
Or if you get sick, or if you know things happen in the family. There are a lot of over the
So that's one of the reasons they should have a plan.
That's one of the things that's going to happen if you wait. But we're talking about expansion.
Yes, expansion.
So buying another business offers several possibilities and advantages for growing your business. You can add market share. You can actually penetrate a new market. You can, by adding another firm that sells products or services that are similar to yours, you can cross-sell. So, the return on your investment when you buy a business is pretty much immediate.
Because again,
And-
you have that cash flow, it's already
Because
out
the
there, because
cash
you're
flow's
buying a
already there.
pre-existing business, and when you're doing the expansion, you're actually already know that that's a good business. Now, is there any advantage though on the insurance side if I go out and I buy another accounting firm and just expand it to mine or whatever? Is there going to be, because my sales are going to go up, hopefully, and but my liability is not really much different. I mean, in my mind, I mean, how's
Right.
that work?
Right, so as your sales go up, your exposure goes up and your insurance premiums will go up. But if you're buying a similar business, you can often combine that under the same policy and get some economies of scale. Now, if you're buying a different kind of business, maybe something vertical in your supply chain, maybe something similar but a different business that you can cross-sell, it's a different exposure and your insurer might not have an appetite for that risk.
Gotcha.
So you might have to go and market that on a whole different policy.
And so that's a good time for someone to sit down with their insurance person, possibly before they actually go and buy those businesses, so you know what the cost. Because I know on my side, the biggest thing, of course, is always knowing what it's going to really cost somebody to go do these things. Because it always sounds good on paper. And let me tell you, financial plans can be made to look really nice. I'm sure Elaine has seen a lot of those. But when it really comes down to knowing your business, then this team of experts can help you do exactly what you want to do. If it's expand, if it's sell, if it's just to consolidate it all, and make sure you've got it all shielded, because let's be honest, a lot of us lived through some tough times, and that insurance is what kept a lot of people going when those tough times got started. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and you're watching the Dr. Friday Show, and we're going to be right back.